Micronesia is an archipelago in the western Pacific Ocean, composed of over 2,000 small and large islands. The South Pacific Ocean is primarily divided into three archipelagic regions: Melanesia, Polynesia, and Micronesia. Among them, Micronesia is formed by relatively smaller island nations. To the south of the Micronesia region lies Melanesia, and to the east is Polynesia. Some islands in this region are no larger than 1 square mile. Most of the small islands of Micronesia are made of coral. The larger islands were formed by the accumulation of volcanic lava. Micronesia is both an archipelago in the Oceania region and an independent country within it, known as the Federated States of Micronesia. The country consists of over 600 islands, though only 65 of them are inhabited. Palikir is the capital of Micronesia. Some notable island countries and archipelagos under Micronesia include Palau, Nauru, Western Kiribati, the Marshall Islands, the Gilbert Islands, Wake Island, Guam, and the Mariana Islands. Among these, Guam is the largest in terms of area and population. The center of Guam Island has an active volcanic ring, and its surroundings are formed by coral reefs. Although it is located in the Pacific Ocean, it is currently a territory of the United States. During World War II, this island was an important American military base. It has a plateau on one side and mountains formed of igneous rock on the other. The island's climate is hot and rainy. The indigenous inhabitants of Guam are known as the Chamorro, who are essentially a mixed race. Besides the Chamorro, Koreans, Filipinos, Japanese, Chinese, and Europeans also reside here. The inhabitants are primarily Catholic Christians, though there are also some Protestant Christians and followers of local religions. The residents speak Chamorro and English. Guam's economy is mainly import-dependent. It exports local raw materials and, in return, imports food items and leather goods from the United States and Japan. It also earns income from its poultry industry and mineral oil refineries. However, tourism is one of the main sources of Guam's income. About 1 million tourists visit Guam every year. Being under the United States, American cultural influence is noticeable in Guam. Luxurious shopping malls, parks, and movie theaters similar to those in America have been established. Even public holidays are observed according to the U.S. government's holiday schedule. Besides Guam, Micronesia's Wake Island and the Mariana Islands are also under U.S. territory. The Mariana Islands are well known for tourism. Tourists mainly from Japan and America visit this island. Saipan, Rota, and Tinian are the main port cities and tourist attractions of this island. Scuba diving, in particular, is very popular here. Wake Island is uninhabited, and public access is not permitted. The island is under the control of the U.S. Air Force and Army. Among the islands in the Micronesia region, Nauru, Palau, the Marshall Islands, and Western Kiribati have been recognized as independent countries or states. Nauru is the world's third smallest country. The country is famous for its natural resources and beauty. It has white sandy beaches surrounded by coral reefs and rows of palm trees. The island is a rich repository of phosphate minerals. About 2/3 of the island is filled with this mineral. The country's phosphate industry, which is ranked first in the world for quality, is built upon this. Because of phosphate, Nauru was one of the richest countries in the world in the 20th century. Nauru's economy is primarily based on this mineral resource and coastal fisheries. There is also some income from tourism. Nauru imports food and processed goods from Australia. Interestingly, due to the lack of internal rivers or lakes, the country even has to import drinking water from neighboring countries. A wonderful feature of this country is that its residents do not have to pay any income tax. Being a mining region, there is not enough opportunity for agriculture or animal husbandry in Nauru. Apart from a few fruits and vegetables, no significant food grains are grown. Due to a lack of plant diversity, biodiversity has not developed much, but many migratory birds are seen during the winter season. Europeans began to arrive in the early 19th century. In the 20th century, phosphate extraction began in the country as a joint venture between the Germans and the British. After World War I, Germany was expelled from the region by Australia. And from then on, the phosphate industry was managed by a joint initiative of Britain, Australia, and New Zealand. The country gained independence in 1968. In addition to the local inhabitants, some Australians, New Zealanders, and Chinese live in Nauru, and some settlements are also found along the coast. Among the Pacific nations, Nauru is the greatest bearer of Western culture. Although Nauruan is the country's main language, the inhabitants are also quite fluent in English. Half of the population is Protestant Christian, while the rest are Roman Catholic. Another notable country in Micronesia is Palau. Various countries have ruled Palau at different times. The British first occupied the island, but later the Spanish established a colony here. After the Spanish-American War, Spain sold the island to Germany. After World War I, Palau came under Japanese occupation. After World War II, the country's ownership changed again. The United States took control. Finally, the country gained independence in 1994. Palau's landform is composed of volcanic rock, and the island is surrounded by mangrove forests. People primarily live in the coral-formed parts of the island. Like Nauru, Palau also has phosphate mineral mines. The country experiences a monsoonal climate, resulting in heavy rainfall throughout the year. Palau's coastal sea is rich in biodiversity. It is home to various aquatic species including coral, jellyfish, squid, starfish, sea urchins, and snails. Alongside various species of ferns and palm trees, the list of notable plants in this region includes morning glory, Polynesian ironwood, and pandanus. The country's terrestrial fauna is also diverse. Among the animals of this region, the frogs of the Limnonectes species are very peculiar. In reproduction, frogs usually lay eggs from which tadpoles are born. But this particular species of frog does not lay eggs. Instead, like mammals, they give birth to live young. In Palau, the indigenous inhabitants make up about 3/4 of the total population. The remainder includes Americans, Europeans, and Asians. Palauan, Sonserolese, Tobian, and English are the official languages of the country. The inhabitants are Protestant and Catholic Christians. Agriculture and fishing are the main livelihoods of Palauans. Women are primarily engaged in agriculture, while men are involved in coastal fishing. Tuna fish and textiles are the country's main export products. Tourism is also a source of income for Palau. A barter system is prevalent in Palauan social life. The exchange of food and gifts during births, deaths, and other ceremonies is a special custom of the country. Palauan society is matriarchal. In matters of agriculture, land ownership, earned money, and surnames, the women of the family are given priority. In the far eastern part of the Micronesian region lies the coral-formed archipelago named the Marshall Islands. Although this island was formed by the accumulation of volcanic lava, there are ring-shaped coral reefs in various parts of the island. These are called atolls, and the body of water created within the atolls is called a lagoon. The largest atoll in this region is named Kwajalein Atoll. A fruit called breadfruit is cultivated in this region, which can be boiled and made into something exactly like bread to eat. The economy of this region is agriculture-based. It occupies a significant place in the diet of the local inhabitants. The inhabitants are followers of Christianity and speak the Marshallese language. The main source of income for the Marshall Islands is coconut. The coconut kernel is dried here, which is locally known as copra. Coconut oil is produced from copra. The majority of the country's foreign trade is with the United States, Australia, and Japan. Processed food is the main import item. Another notable island in the Micronesia region is Kiribati, which is also centered around atolls. The place is famous for its sea fish and coconut production. In fact, the main food of the locals is coconut, along with breadfruit and a fruit called pandanus. Rural life in Kiribati has developed in a somewhat Western style. The inhabitants are quite conservative and diligent in preserving their traditions.